Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network. It's a Tuesday edition as we get ready for lacrosse a little bit later on. New Canaan and Darien over at Darien High School. Look forward to that one, but I'm Rob Adams, that's Donald Eng, and we got various and sundry to talk about for a Tuesday, including baseball highlights from last night.
Baseball highlights. Big game last night. Very good game in the FCIAC, and a great venue, great setting. Always enjoyable to go to the ballpark.
It was indeed. We'll get to those in a little bit as we saw the town battle between Fairfield Ward and Fairfield Ludlow, and we're going to bring a special guest to the phone in just a moment. Sean Patrick Boley, Game Time CT, will join us, but just a bunch of things going on certainly at this time of year, and we're getting deeper into the playoffs. And I thought yesterday with that game, just to spend an extra moment on that ball game, I think for Ludlow that was a damaging loss. For Ward, I think that certainly sets them in an even better spot than they were when the evening began.
Right, and I thought Ludlow played very well. I mean, it's not like they put forth a great effort. They just came up a little bit short. It's so close, and it just shows you what we're going to see in this FCIAC race this year. Essentially, there's parity throughout the league, with maybe one exception of Darien. Any team can almost beat any other team, and so that's going to be very interesting because right now, after a week of rain, we're going to get a lot of action in the next 5 to 10 days.
And that's where we bring in Sean Patrick Boley. Let's let him join us right now from Game Time CT. SPB, how are you?
What's going on, gentlemen?
Well, that's a little bit of an influx of life. How are things?
Oh, hey, what are we talking? We're talking baseball here? Baseball.
Absolutely. I mean, it's baseball season. It's lacrosse season. Come on, it's a good time of year.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, the year when I kind of take a step back and watch all the fine work everyone else is doing.
What, I know you really put a lot into football. I see you all the time at football. And of course I see you all the time during the winter as well. What is kind of your spring? What's spring like for you?
Spring is trying to juggle all the stuff that we had carried over from the winter season. Trying to deal with postponements, a lot of postponements. And then next thing I know, after we do our all-state, all-area teams for the winter, we're a week away from the end of the baseball regular season. So it's like, you get one or two good baseball games that are really like major, that we're speaking from a statewide perspective. You get a couple major baseball games, and then a major lacrosse game, or actually two, especially in your neck of the woods. And then next thing you know, we're all into playoffs. We're talking playoffs. And then the season's over. So spring goes by in a blink of an eye, at least from my seat. I don't get a heck of a lot of time to get out there until the end. And even then, it's pretty limited. So I just kind of like watch. We run the polls. We do the top 10 baseball, softball, and lacrosse polls. And I love spring. It's a great time of year. But it just goes way, way too fast. To get it under, next thing you know, it's the end of the season. so and then, so I mean, there's a lot of football stuff going on too, so I keep an eye on that.
That is amazing that football is now a 12-season, high school football is now a 12-month sport, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was really quiet. It's been really quiet in football. We don't have a lot of going nutty about the FCIAC like we did this time last year. So that's good. I mean, it's good to relax and not have to worry about, who's saying what over what game and whether they're going to do this or that and the other thing. So, all we've really had are very quiet coaching changes. I mean, obviously, Jer Margarine is still the one that's outstanding. That's it, though, as far as I know. I mean, we had one at Woodland up in Beacon Falls, and that one turned over real quickly. And, so, there's really been quiet other than the football signing, the commitment of Ben Mason at Newtown. That was about it. So, back to full spring mode here.
As you're mentioning football, and I can't help but spend a moment, the Stanford situation's still kind of in the air as well.
Yeah, I really don't know what the heck's going on there. I was kind of shocked there. I knew that things weren't great in Stanford land when I noticed early in the season, I think it was on January, that there was a vacancy at Stanford. I'm like, what's going on here? And so I called up Jamar and I said, hey, did you resign or something? He goes, no. No, I'm still the coach. I just got to reapply. And apparently he already applied, and that was their kind of impetus. Said, no, I think we're going to go in another direction. So I don't really know what is going on there. He was pretty upset by it. But he got to the point where, like, if you don't want me here, then, I'm out, and I'm going to go a place where I am wanted. And I thought he did an amazing job over at Stanford. I don't really quite know the full story or why they really wanted him gone, but I guess they had their reasons, even though he doesn't agree with them. But that's kind of a weird situation there. That's tough. It's tough for kids. And how many times do they get a change of coach over? I think it was the third time, or fourth time in the last maybe 6-7 years or so.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
So that's that's kind of keeping a small eye on it. It's the only coaching vacancy statewide that's left right now, according to my calculations here. I got that list up. So they got to be making a move soon, because next thing you know, you get into the end of the spring season and people doing spring practices, and then you get into the summer, you have basically 1 month off, and then you get ready for the season. So I'm very curious where they're going to go, what route they're going to go.
And the other coaching change that I wanted to make note of is the Chris Watts situation, him leaving St. Joseph to go down to Notre Dame of Fairfield. And, some interesting comments from him as well.
Yeah, he really kind of stirred the pot there about, both to us, to Joe Morelli, and to Chris Ellsbury. And a lot of people kind of really got their feathers ruffled a little bit about what he was saying and what was he saying exactly. And personally, I didn't talk to Chris myself, but the way I read it was like they just think Joe, and I've heard this through the last few years. Obviously there's been a change in administration. We had Jimmy Leos leave 3 years ago. You had some presidents going there, and it's been a change in administration. And I think the kids who wanted to go to St. Joe and play basketball, Chris didn't think that the administration wanted them, or didn't think that this is what I'm getting from it. It's just based on his comments. He said they just weren't being accepted. I think maybe in years past they were. I don't think anyone who didn't want to go to St. Joe were. I don't think many of them were denied. I know that they had a high academic standard. I don't know whether their standards have increased or their philosophy and who to accept and who not to accept. But whatever it was, it didn't really jive with Chris. And you saw their record over the years, the last 4 years. He had a really good season to start with, and then they struggled the last 3 years. So maybe there's something to that. Now a lot of guys were saying that, well, this means that they're recruiting, and this is definitive evidence. I don't really think that's exactly what he was saying. I think he was saying more of, who the school is accepting. A kid's going to say, hey, I'd like to go to school there. And they're like, all right, we'll take the test. And they take the test, and, or they have their grades from, 8th grade or 7th grade. And, and then it's up to the school, their admission to, who to accept, how many kids we're going to accept. So, I don't really, there's a lot of gray area, obviously. I don't think Chris was saying, hey, they weren't giving me the guys I wanted to recruit. No, I don't think that's what he said at all. But you can definitely look at it that way. A lot of people did. So that was very, very curious. And with nowadays, there's a big, big pushback, more than we've ever seen, in the Catholic versus private debate, especially in basketball, with Sacred Heart not moving up and ripping through a Class M tournament alongside Notre Dame, Fairfield, and they're looking at major changes to the way they classify it at the CIAC level, and this is just one of those instances where it's just kind of adding fuel to the fire. They're like, look, I just saw a lot of people say, look, they get whoever they want. This is just definitive proof. They get whoever they want, unless the schools want. But they have to pick a litter, and then the rest of us have to kind of dive over the scrap. So why don't they just play in their own division? I think that's what those comments probably did, was add more fuel to the fire of that debate toward a separation of the private and the Catholic.
Right. Now, do you think I know being a participant on the Game Time CT comment board, sooner or later every story becomes a discussion of, private schools and is it fair for them to compete against the public schools? But, are there enough private schools competing at a regular level to to justify having their own, their own playoffs, their own tournament. I mean, off the top of my head, you've got like maybe 4 or 5 that I can think of, but I mean, it seems like that would be sort of a like an overreaction, kind of going the other way as far as separating the schools.
Well, here's where you get into another gray area. It's not just Catholics anymore. It's schools of choice, quote unquote. Schools that have magnets, or that they are magnets. Like, you look at a Capital Prep, which isn't exactly a Catholic school. It's a private high school. You have that down in Bridgeport now. You have Capital Prep Harbor, which opened last year, and it's starting to get its athletic act together. That's another magnet. You have, like Hyde Leadership in New Haven.
Careers in
New
Haven.
Hartford is just, you've seen the public schools getting ripped apart up there, and all these magnets coming to form. It's hard to even keep track of them, like Metro Learning Center, Aerospace, all these specialty schools. And what they do become is, they say they have a lotteries for the Hartford kids to go there, but what they do become is if they have a lottery, you look at Capital Prep, it's very funny that all the lottery kids who got in are all top basketball players. So that's another aspect of it. So to the question is, yeah, I think there's enough, more than there were back in like '93 when they had the all Connecticut conference, just strictly Catholic schools. That grand experiment back in the late '80s and early '90s,
right?
Which
resulted in having Catholic kids bust all over the state.
Yeah. I mean, so now you're looking at magnets, but where do you draw the line on a magnet? There are schools like Ledyard, which has a VOAG program. You have a school like NFA, which draws from 800 towns in that region, in the eastern region. You have
Trumbull has a VOAG program. Now that I'm thinking about it,
and I think we lost them, which is we were kind of beginning to wrap up anyway. But great stuff from Sean Patrick Boley. We'll get to him on some of the other stuff. He was so good on everything else. We'll catch up with him. So we'll take a break here on Nutmeg Sports. We'll return more of the program right after this on the HAN Network.
Had a sports injury or slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or go to coastalorthoexpress.com. That's coastalorthoexpress.com. Like them on Facebook.
Do you need help reaching or maintaining your fitness goals? For over 20 years, Mike Pernice has tailored his time and expertise to clients on both coasts whose schedules demand flexibility and accountability. Mike is a certified lifestyle manager and has been called upon to help his clients eliminate negative behaviors such as coping with stress, improving their time management, setting realistic life goals, and cutting down compulsive behavior. If you're ready to start working toward a more energetic, productive, and healthier you, call Mike Pernice.
It's time to come back to hometown banking, where people are taken into account, not just balances, where community comes first, a place where there's more than one kind of interest, where automation will never replace consideration, where they not only know your name, they know your dog's name too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
For more than 50 years, Triple S has been Fairfield County's expert service for carpet, upholstery, and drapery cleaning. We provide the best in repairs and in-depth restoration, understanding fabrics and how to properly clean and restore them. Our staff will come to your home to clean your wall-to-wall carpet to perfection. We can also pick up your fine carpets and bring them to our facilities. With locations in Norwalk, Stamford, and Stratford, Triple S will get the job done fast, big or small. At Triple S, you can count on our people as well as our cleaning. Find us at triplesclean.com or 203-847-8000. I'm Kate Chaplinsky. Join us for Coffee Break, weekdays at 11 to get the latest Connecticut news, weather, high school sports, and more. News doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break on the HAN Network.
Back with you on Nutmeg Sports. It's a Tuesday edition here on the HAN Network. Again, thanks to Sean Patrick Boley. We did kind of lose the call, but always great to talk to SPB. We'll get him back on again. With that said, we should switch gears and head over to baseball. And We'll show you the highlights of Ludlow and Ward in just a moment, but, you know, kind of sticking with the discussion of Game Time CT and their polls, Don, I know that, you know, Darien's right there in the top teams in the state.
Yeah, right now they're ranked number 3 behind Amity and Waterford, and of course there's always the discussion of, you know, do you vote when you make out your ballot? Do you vote based on who you sort of intuitively feel would win if the two teams played each other? Do you do it based on record? Amity with the 1 loss, Waterford undefeated, Darien right there, 13-2, I think on the season.
They
so
are
far.
13-2, yeah. Coming
So
off the
you know,
yep.
definitely right there, clearly as good as anyone in the state, possibly on a collision course with Amity in that Class LL state tournament.
One of their ace pitchers, Richard Brereton, will be on this show next week. We're also planning to have Mike Scott on, their head coach, as well. We've gotten to know Mike a bit over the past couple of seasons. Not that Mike Scott. And no, we will not be talking about Emory Boards or Gary Carter. That's a whole different topic. But Mike Scott, the head coach from Darien, likely, hopefully next week as well, among the really good guys that we've gotten to know around the league. Sheehan from 10 up. It's Sheehan, East Catholic, Southington, Bristol Eastern, Hamden, Berlin, South Windsor, Darien, Waterford, and Amity. Those are the top 10 right now. But really, FCAC baseball, I'm glad Darien's getting some respect, because beyond that, FCAC baseball is completely up for grabs. I love the way this league is going this year. They're just beating everybody.
I do love the way the league is going, you know, and that's the best thing in the world. It makes it more exciting or more interesting to cover. It makes it more exciting to broadcast when you walk into a game and you just don't know who's going to win, because that's essentially the NFL model, right? On any given day, and that's what we have so far this season, with a few minor exceptions in the FCAC. But that's the way the league has shaped up this year. It's
been a lot of fun to keep an eye on, and I think the playoffs are going to be blistering good. We will be there, of course, for definitely the championship. Really, just I believe it's 2 weeks from tomorrow. We're really close to it. So, but last night at the ballpark at Harbor Yard, which is where the championship will take place, we got to see a game that, you know, between Fairfield Ward and Fairfield Ludlow, the thinking was that Ludlow couldn't hang with their crosstown rivals, and they haven't beaten the Mustangs in a few years. But not so fast, Don. The Mustangs and the Falcons showed up ready to play.
You know, I was one of those. I didn't think Ludlow was going to be that. I mean, I didn't think it would be a blowout, but I thought we were looking at about a 6-2 game, something like that, 5-1, in that neighborhood. But what's that saying? That's why they play the games.
That is why they play the games. This was a good one last night. We had a good time with Justin Galanti on the call with me. Let's check out the highlights of last night's game, Fairfield Ward and Fairfield Ludlow, from the ballpark at Harbor Yard, right here on Nutmeg Sports. From the ballpark at Harbor Yard in Bridgeport, it's high school baseball on the HAN Network. Good afternoon, everyone. Pitch on the way is another curveball lifted to center. Brancato comes on, and it bounces past him. Waiting and now starting is McMillan. He'll make the turn and head toward home. The throw going to get Hanrahan at third is not in time. So runners at the corners. A run scores 1-0 Ludlow. I didn't quite get an indication from him as this goes to the backstop. Hanrahan claps his hands, 2-0.
Speed pitch last time.
Runner off second. This is lifted to right in trouble. Going back Lazar. It's going to be over his head. Rounding third and scoring Gutierrez. On his horse. Past second Devaney. The throw is grabbed and thrown back in, but not nearly in time. A sliding triple. 3-0 Ludlow. Here's Reese Maniscalco. Runner still juiced, and he lifts it to deep left field. A long drive down the line. It'll bounce up into the left field corner. Landry grabs it. 2 runs have scored. The third on the way. And Ward takes a 4-3 lead on a bases-clearing double by Reese Maniscalco. Leaning in with the shadows getting closer is Natoli. He brings it home. A swing and a fly ball to right. Tracking it. Lazar tracking it. It's over his head. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score. It's a double for Bernstein. This crowd didn't know what to think. It's a 5-4 ball game. And wait a minute. We're about to regain the lead here. This is served in the left field. A base hit for Paglialunga. Rounding third and holding on. Now he stops. Bernstein coming on. He scores. And they're all on the edge of the grass. Pitch on the way is lifted down the left field line, in trouble going back, and it's over the head of Landry. 2 runs will score, heading towards second, and in with a stand-up double is Borendorf, and we're knotted at 6. And the pitch on the way. He swings. Soft line drive. It'll drop in for a base hit. One run will turn and score Berndorf. To third goes Myers. It's a 7-6 ball game. No balls, 2 strikes. 7-6 tying run off first. Here it comes. And a fly ball on the infield. Calling for it, Joey Deutsch to put it away, and the ball game is over. So Fairfield Ward gets the victory, 7-6. 7-6 the final score last night. Good job by John Natoli to get the win, striking out 10. Allowed 5 earned runs. Kind of uncommon to see that pitcher go the distance and allow 5 earned.
I'm sorry, Rob. I know you were talking, but I was distracted by that A+ uniform game from Ward. That is spectacular.
I liked them. I thought they were pretty good. Someone mentioned off the air to me they weren't as fond of them, but I thought those were pretty good.
The 83 White Sox tribute, I thought.
To me, that's Lamar Hoyt and Tony La Russa and Carlton Fisk. So, it's a long time ago, though.
It was a long time ago. Whoever came up with that design was on point that day. So
we've seen a strong uniform game in the FCAC this year. I keep going back to those Brian McMahon hats that are absolutely brilliant. So, but a lot of good uniforms in the conference.
No, they're very good. That was spectacular and a great not to minimize, but a great game. Like we said, anyone in the FCAC can beat anyone else. Ludlow was trying to improve their standing and trying to get into the state playoffs, if not the FCAC playoffs. And a big effort, just falling just short there. So an exciting game to cover, an exciting game to watch.
And again, missed opportunities. You got to take advantage. Early on, the Falcons had a runner on result of an error in the first inning, and the Falcons couldn't get that run home. So you think about things like that. When you're a team that's scrapping throughout the season, you got to take advantage of opportunities, especially when you're going up against a team like Ward. So
right, it's like watching that 15-2 game in the NCAA tournament. When you have the shot, you've got to make it count. Ward came up just short on the with the big effort, but and congratulations to I said Ward, I meant Ludlow. And congratulations to Ward on the spectacular uniforms and the win.
No medals for trying, but certainly a game effort by the Falcons last night. Let's take a break here on Nutmeg Sports. When we come back, we will line you up for today's girls lacrosse game as New Canaan and Darien meet over at Darien High School. But first, a break. And by the way, Grant Weiler, great job on editing those highlights from that baseball game. Jenny Schrenker is directing the broadcast right now. We take a break here on Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network.
Alberto Londano Professional Painting, Wallpapering, and Carpentry has been serving Fairfield County for over 20 years. Based in Norwalk, Alberto takes pride in his work by offering you only the best quality service and products. Call Alberto today to get a free estimate and be one step closer to a new and exciting home makeover. 203-866-9635.
For over 25 years, Mike Cizik Painting and Wallpapering has been the name to know for residential and commercial properties in Fairfield County. He uses only the top brands, including Benjamin Moore, for impeccable preparation and lasting quality. Call Mike now and receive $500 off any job over $7,000. Mike is currently accepting reservations for spring, so call him today at 203-770-8869 or 203-972-3310. For your custom painting, finishing, and staining needs, it's Mike Cizik.
I think what makes ONS special is that it has everything that makes academic medicine great. We have the fellowship-trained specialists, but we still bring the style and type of medicine that's indicative of a community practice.
We are all trained in our area of interest and expertise, so our patients see a doctor who specializes in their particular injury.
I did have 2 consults with major New York City hospitals, but I just felt that the care was best here. I was treated like a rock star. The surgery exceeded any expectations that I had.
I'm Denise DiGregoli, the host of The Drive on the HAN Network. Join me Tuesdays for some motivational, intelligent talk with a little humor as we visit with people who live their lives mindfully. Tune in to The Drive live on Tuesdays, 12:30, here on the HAN Network.
Sports. It's a Tuesday show here on the HAN Network. We have girls lacrosse later today, Don, as New Canaan and Darien meet. Of course, the rivals.
Right.
No matter how many ways you put it, you love seeing them get together, no matter what.
The 478th New Canaan versus Darien game this year, and it just seems like they're always great games. New Canaan with a record now of 8-0, 11-1 overall. Darien undefeated also 7-0, 11-1-1. Both of those schools obviously at the very top of the FCX Eastern Division and also at the top of the CIAC's rankings for Class L and Class M respectively.
New Canaan coming off a win 13-12 against Yorktown Heights, New York on Saturday, and they had Campbell Armstrong leading the way with 5 goals, so good job by her. Dangerous offense there with Catherine Granito and Armstrong. You've got Caroline O'Day in net, Sammy Stewart. This is a dangerous New Canaan team, but don't take Darien lightly, plus I don't want Jenny to get mad at me. Darien coming off a win of their own against an out-of-state opponent as they won 13-5 against Longmeadow, Massachusetts back on Friday. So again, 2 really good teams, and their only losses, as we said, out-of-state teams from Long Island.
Right. In fact, both of them, and if you believe in the transitive sports theory, they've both played Yorktown, as you mentioned. New Canaan with the 13-12 win. Darien beat Yorktown 12-9. So just very close, very evenly matched, very competitive game. It really should be a barn burner.
And we saw a really good Darien game a few weeks ago against Manhasset from Long Island. Remember, that was the 10-10 tie.
3 overtimes.
Yeah. So, and I wish they were still playing. And Carly Shadell was so good in goal that day. Really put on a show late in that game. So I'm excited to see what these 2 teams have for us today.
Yeah, they have been the dominant forces on the top of the FCX. And when the 2 heavyweights finally get together, sometimes fireworks happen.
Back to the good old tour we go to round out the show with interviews from both of these teams to get you set for the game. It is at 4 o'clock. This one on the stadium field today. The Blue Wave will head back to the turf number 2 field, which is where we were last Thursday. That will happen for Darien Norwalk on tomorrow. But this game today is on the stadium field, and I just make sure I explain all that, so make sure we know where we are, because it can get a little confusing at times, Don.
It can. Just follow the crowds and the sounds of cheering.
There you go. Darien, New Canaan, 4 o'clock here on the HAN Network, but right now, Darien and New Canaan interviews with them as we wrap up Nutmeg Sports for a Tuesday edition. Thanks to Jenny, Eric, Grant, Don, and Sean Patrick Boley.
Did we leave anyone out? I don't think so. That's the crew.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. For all of them, I'm Rob Adams. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow, and we'll see you later for the girls lacrosse game right here on Nutmeg Sports and on the HAN Network. Darien High School. I'm Rob Adams on the HAN Network. We're inside the HAN Cruiser today, a little bit under the weather outside, or, not so great weather outside, although we might all be under the weather. Let's find out who they are, and we'll talk some girls lacrosse. Who are you?
Hi, I'm Daphne.
I'm Chandler.
Oh, that's right. You're supposed to be doing the microphone. Go ahead.
I'm Chandler Kirby.
I'm Kaylee.
Okay, we've got the microphone. They're better than me already. Daphne, first of all, going to Gettysburg for lacrosse. Congratulations. Fun fact, though. Tell me about it.
So our fun fact, or kind of a pregame ritual, is that before every game, really intense games, we put on eye black. The whole team does it while listening to music, and it gets us really pumped up and ready for the game.
Now, is it just, eye black under the eyes, or are we doing the war paint? What are you doing?
We normally just do eye black under the eyes because it starts to run, so we don't really want to put it anywhere else.
I wouldn't think so. All right, Chandler, and of course, we've talked to Chandler before as well, going to Michigan. What's the music you listen to?
Well,
microphone. There we go. Now we're back
okay,
on.
well, let's see. One of our favorite songs is My House by Flo Rida. That's one of our favorites. But then other than that, we still have to make a playlist, but we have a lot of pump-up songs ranging from like Lil Wayne to anything really.
Bieber.
Yeah, we have it all, so we're excited.
Okay, not big on the rock and roll. We'll head over now to Kelly. And going to the University of Pennsylvania, congratulations on that. What made you want to go to UPenn?
Well, both my parents went there actually, and my dad played lacrosse there, so it's just kind of always been in the family. But I just fell in love with it the moment I stepped on campus.
No, it's a great place to go. What do you do before a game?
I like to do art before games to relax. I actually probably have paint on my hands right now probably. Yeah, it's nice, relaxing.
What do you work in? What's your medium?
I usually do paint, but I also do like pencil, pen, anything really.
Very nice. Is there a particular thing you will paint or draw? Is there kind of a style you go for?
Well, right now I am doing a lot of like graffiti style.
Really?
Stuff. Yeah, I have like spray paint all over me right now. But yeah, I really enjoy graffiti at the moment.
Very cool. All right. What kind of a season is it going to be for this team?
Well, I think that we all believe that it's going to be a really good season, a great season, because we had our first scrimmage last week, and we came out really strong with a lot of intensity, and I think that everyone wants to do well, and it's just a good team so far. So I think that everyone's going to bring something to the table.
Chandler, how were the losses to graduation? A lot?
Well, yeah, we definitely lost a lot of tremendous players. I think 2 of our attackers, a lot of our defenders, great goalie, but I think we also returned a lot of our really strong players, and I think scoring won't really be an issue for us. And so, yeah, we're really excited. Should be a good year for them, and I know they're excited. We're excited to see them down the road. I believe we've got you at some point during the year. I think Manhasset, New York's coming here, and I believe we've got that game on the HAN Network, so that's exciting. We'll look forward to that. We'll look forward to seeing them a lot more. It's the girls lacrosse team right here on the HAN Network. Welcome to New Canaan High School on the HAN Network. I'm Rob Adams. We're going to talk with the girls lacrosse team here at New Canaan, and I feel like I know at least the names, if not some of the faces, but we'll let them introduce themselves. We've seen many of them for one sport or another, and we'll start right here.
I'm Catherine Granito.
Hi, I'm Mia Carroll.
Hi, I'm Sammy Stewart.
I'm Kylie Murphy.
See, they all survived the microphone part very well. Catherine, okay, I'll start with you. Tell us something awful about your brother Frank. No, I'm only kidding. Frank is one of us here at the HAN Network. You had a tornado hit in practice? What? What happened?
Yes, that's a real story. We were practicing on the water tower turf, and the next thing you know, there's a big gust of wind, and there's a mini tornado on our field, and it was interesting.
It sounds fairly interesting. By the way, Catherine going to the University of Michigan to play lacrosse, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Should be very exciting, and lacrosse is going to do very well here, Mia, at New Canaan. I'm sure you have big expectations this year. What are those expectations?
I mean, coming into the season, we definitely want to come out strong. I mean, for us as 4 seniors, we definitely want to finish our last season with New Canaan in any sport on a good note. So we're definitely looking to redeem the FCIAC championship and hopefully keep the state championship.
And speaking of college, gorgeous Williams College. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That is a great place. All right, let's switch over to Sammy. And first of all, Sammy going to West Point, and that is great as well. And you've got the right colors on today.
Yeah, I do.
Well done.
Thank you.
Who do you want? Who do you expect to beat this year in the conference? And I'm sure there's one team that comes to mind.
One team definitely does come to mind. That would be Darien. Obviously, we want redemption for the FCIAC final last year. They're a very strong team, and hopefully we'll come out with a win.
And for their coach, they don't expect to be, they don't want to guarantee. We're just, we're just talking here.
We're just
okay.
hoping.
We're just, it's all hopeful. Kylie, over to you. Since the 5th grade, you've had something. What?
My stick.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? What? I mean, is it like a baseball or a softball bat? You're just comfortable with it?
Well, I mean, I had the same stick from 2nd grade to 4th grade, and then my brother unfortunately cracked that one, so had to get a new one in 5th grade, and I can't use any other stick. They just don't work for me.
No kidding.
No.
Is it really that kind of a thing where you're that comfortable with something like that?
Just I think it's honestly just Kylie. Really? She's got some unique hands, and they really only work with her stick.
Yeah.
For her,
I think the best part about it is that it's a yellow and black stick. It isn't even our team colors, but it's the best stick on the team.
Yeah.
This is a good group. They're going to have a good year. Best of luck to all of you, and have a good time out there, but more so, I guess, go get some wins.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. They will win, and they will win a lot, and we'll see them throughout the season. We've got them at least once here on our broadcast schedule, so we look forward to seeing them, if not more than once. But I'm trying to remember the schedule in the back of my head. They're giving me a hard time already. We thank the girls lacrosse team here at New Canaan High School for joining us on the HAN Network.